In this lesson, we're looking at the sync setting and controlling event sound looping. The sync drop-down list gives us 4 options, so we're going to go through these one by one. Event is the default, and as its name suggests, it's the most common setting for sounds that are triggered by events. Once we start the sound, it will keep playing, no matter what else happens in your Flash movie, even if the timeline stops. If an event sound is playing and another one is triggered, the first one will keep playing, so then you'll have 2 playing at the same time. This can be useful, for example, 2 identical sounds panned left and right, but not started at the same keyframe. With some sounds, you can create an interesting pseudo-stereo effect. The downside is that you do have to remember to stop event sounds if you don't want them layered on top of each other. Start is the next option, and it's almost exactly the same as event. The only difference is, if that sound is already playing, it will keep going and a new one will not start. So only one can play at a time. Moving on, stop will silence a sound. For example, you might have a sound that loops or repeats that plays on a mouse over. When the viewer moves their mouse cursor over a button, the sound will start looping. Then when they move their mouse away, the sound will stop. One way to accomplish this is to put the event sound in the over state of the button and put a stop sound in the up state. Of course, there are other ways to accomplish this, but this is just one way you could do it. And finally, stream sounds are used when you want to synchronize audio with animation, such as a cartoon face that's talking. Flash will automatically adjust the visual element of the presentation to stay locked to the audio. If for some reason the Flash player can't draw the animation frames fast enough, it will simply drop some frames to keep up. As soon as the animation runs out of frames and finishes, the stream sound will stop. Okay, to finish this lesson, let's look at the next drop-down menu. This one controls looping or repeating of your sounds. Now the first option may be a little bit misleading because it says repeat. It may make you think that this setting will cause your sound to repeat, but it really only lets you specify how many times it plays. Drop the number 1 into the box next to it, and your sound will play 1 time. Drop in 2, and it'll play twice, and so on. So you can make your sound repeat or loop a certain amount of times, but it doesn't have to play more than once. The loop setting just makes your sound repeat indefinitely. This makes it good for audio loops and creating a background music track. You can always stop the sound with the keyframe set to the same sound and with the sync option set to stop. Or you could always stop it with the global stop all sounds action script command. Now, one thing I have to make clear before we finish here is that it's not recommended to loop streaming sounds. If you do this, extra frames will be added to the file and the file size will be increased. And of course, that's not something we're very happy about doing to our Flash files, unless it's absolutely necessary. And for short video clips for this lesson, let's move on.